Looks like I am live. How's it going, everybody? So I already tried a live stream earlier, looking for my phone. Oh well, I tried a live stream earlier and sounds like my microphone was messing up. It made me sound like a chipmunk or Donald Duck or something. I'm sorry. I'm going to be buying a new microphone soon. Hopefully this is working now. Should be working now. If it's not working now, let me know. So I'm going to start off with just discussing autopilot behavior, which is what I did for 6 minutes on that last one before the chipmunk syndrome kicked in. Okay, I'm going to go to my live chat. There we go. All right, so autopilot behavior. Sipping on some delicious pu'er tea, aged for 6 years. It's not bad for a budget pu'er. So autopilot behavior. What is autopilot behavior? Autopilot behavior is, for example, when you're driving down the highway and somebody cuts you off and you allow yourself to flip that person off in a rage of anger, and you feel stressed, and then from that point on it creates a cascade of thoughts and feelings, and it creates stress and more stressful behavior as that goes along. Essentially, it's just acting on impulse. It is acting on autopilot. Like when you put the autopilot mode, the cruise control on your car, and it just pushes the gas for you. Essentially, you're acting without thinking. You're acting unconsciously, okay? This is very bad. Most people feel like they are at the effect of their life. They do not feel like they are causing the situations in their life. And what happens is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where they're constantly acting the same way and they're wondering why they're not getting good things. If you do the same thing you've always done, you will get what you've always gotten. You cannot solve a problem from the mindset in which it was created. So the first quote was Henry Ford, second quote was Einstein. Autopilot, if it's like these thoughts, they will generally discourage you, they will doubt you, they'll tell you that you're not good enough. Everything is habits. Okay, recording videos every single day is something you've got to program yourself to do. It gets easier over time. It becomes an autopilot behavior. The average person, they allow their thoughts of doubt to overcome them, and they never actually get to recording that vlog they wanted to record, or starting those college classes they are always talking about. And what happens is, they never embark on this journey. They never reap the fruits of those seeds because they never planted those seeds. And so part of the journey, part of this whole thing is just getting started. So your entire life is governed by your habits. Your thoughts are patterns. They're habits of thought. Your behaviors every day, they're just patterns of behavior. They're habits of behavior. If you allow yourself to just act in an automatic fashion, the results are going to be variable. You could do really, really good and get good things. You can get really, really bad things. The thing is, you never know. So how do you conquer autopilot behavior? Well, what's the opposite of automatic? Manual, right? You got to start to create your behavior yourself. You've got to start to direct your behavior and direct your thoughts and direct your actions to make them conducive and in alignment with what you really want. Okay. So next time that person tries to cut you off in traffic, or he cuts you off in traffic, he might be yelling up a storm, might be honking at you, whatever. Instead of following up on your knee-jerk reaction to get angry at him, best thing for you to do is just calm down. And you can't really At first, you're going to feel angry. At first, you're going to think bad things. But if you stop yourself from acting and from speaking it, that is programming yourself to numb that response. The more you do this, the better you get, and the more automatic it becomes. And then over time, eventually, you don't feel bad from that stimulus anymore. Eventually, you don't think bad, you don't feel bad, you don't act bad. And what happens? Your automatic behavior now becomes something that's in alignment with what you want, which would be peace of mind, right? Most people want peace of mind. Is yelling at someone who cuts you off, is that conducive to peace of mind? No, probably not. Is yelling at someone who cuts you off, is that in alignment with success or happiness? I mean, not really. Maybe it won't have a significant impact on your success, whatever you believe success is, but it is definitely counteract to that, counterintuitive. It's counterproductive to that. So it's important for you to look for your autopilot behaviors in every aspect of your life that might not be productive, that might require some tweaking, might require some conscious transformation, some conscious changing. You know, how you talk to your significant other. Maybe, why would you yell at them? Like it's somebody that you're choosing to be with. Typically, it's just because you haven't sat down and reflected on it. You haven't attempted and made a conscious choice to change that behavior. Because if they really upset you that much to where you need to be yelling and getting angry, maybe you should just break up with them, And obviously, that's another conscious choice you must make. Typically, especially if angry situations happen over and over again, this is a clear indication that the person is operating from autopilot. And I can't stress it enough how much you should remove autopilot behavior from your life. Because essentially, autopilot behavior is the exact opposite of success. Autopilot behavior is what gets people into failure. Okay? Like literally, if you want to see if there is one biggest cause of all failure and all unhappiness in life, it is definitely autopilot behavior. That's what gets people, jobless, homeless, unable to thrive. It's what fuels social anxiety, or at least it keeps it all alive. It keeps these things alive. Okay. Autopilot behavior. It keeps poverty alive. It keeps depression alive. It keeps anger alive. And it's just the exact opposite of what you want to be doing if you want success in your life. So again, if autopilot behavior is the opposite of success, and if it means you're just acting unconsciously, you're just doing what you've always done because it is a habit, because it's what you've always done, it's because it's familiar, it's because it's easy, because it's like waking up every morning, like flipping off somebody who made you angry is the same thing. It's the same thing as waking up every single morning and eating breakfast. It's a habit, unless you're intermittent fasting. Then you're hopefully drinking some water so you don't die of dehydration. But it's a habit. It's just easy. It's just like everything else that you do, just part of your routine. And it's counteractive to your success. It's what drives failure. It's what drives all evil in the world. And so essentially, if you want to be successful, if you want to be happy, if you want everything in life that, if you want what you want, you've got to act in a way that's in alignment with that. And so, what can you do to change that? I mean, pretty much any philosophy for success is going to be based upon the idea that you can create what you want in your life, that you are a product of your habits, and that you have conscious control over your thoughts, words, your actions, and how you feel, which controls your results in life. Best thing you can do is, first of all, realize that that's all you are. Your personality, your everything. It is a product of habits. Second thing you can do, realize that you have the power to change your habits. Okay, because habits are just practice, that things you practice for so long and they stick. So now you got to practice new habits. Think of it as a skill. So you got to start to build new neural pathways. Like you're literally changing your brain. Research neuroplasticity, research epigenetics, research Bruce Lipton, even though he's kind of more on the woo-woo side of science. Research these people, and they basically describe the fundamentals of what I'm talking about here. Your brain will literally change, and you'll realize who you used to be felt natural, but now who you are today is also feels natural. You can literally create a new personality, essentially, that is in more alignment with happiness, in alignment much more with happiness, okay? So what you've got to do is transform. You've got to transform if you want to overcome your autopilot behavior and reach success and reach happiness. You know, so like philosophies on such as the law of attraction, Think and Grow Rich, the magic of thinking big, even things like Tony Robbins, Bruce, what was the other guy? Bob Proctor. Any of these great success gurus or people or gurus on happiness, they all function under this principle. You know, in the middle of, so anytime you feel that stress response in you where you're like about to blow, you're about to get angry, you feel that knee jerk, like, whoa, I'm angry, right? Or, whoa, I'm sad. You know, there's a live stream been going on for 12 minutes and haven't had one question yet, right? On a live Q&A. That knee-jerk reaction most people have to be sad or whatever, to be discouraged. You've got to override it, and you may feel it. You'll feel the urge to act negatively, but you've got to override it with a new habit, which would be a positive reaction, because you can't change the way you feel right in the moment. How you think, you could change your thoughts, yes, but it's not going to change the feeling. You're going to feel fake. You're going to feel the same feeling you felt regardless of changing your thoughts. But changing your thoughts is good because you're just making small changes to override that previous habit. So instead of, thinking bad thoughts after you feel the bad feeling from whatever pissed you off, you got to not act bad. The worst thing, the best thing you can do is be neutral. Is just be like, oh, it's cool. Some people when they first started, they're like, I don't even want to deal with this. You have to use your conscious will and discipline though. This can't be like, oh, I'm going to go and do a drug, or I'm going to go and drink some alcohol. That doesn't work. That's not building the circuitry in your brain that you need to make conscious, long-lasting habits, which is why that's bad. That's actually trading one bad habit with an even worse habit while keeping the bad reaction at the same time. Like, you don't need coping mechanisms if you're consciously changing the negative stimuli that cause it, and that is causing these feelings in the first place. So instead of like looking towards, well, what can I do to cool off my negative feelings, right? Instead of just walking out of the door and taking a walk, which is a great thing, that's a good start. You can literally change the way you respond. Instead of the normal fight or flight response to something, you could change it to laughter. I used to do that with my mother. Maybe that's a bit delusional. Maybe that's pathogenic and not necessarily healthy. But it's much better than freaking out and breaking a wall or something crazy like that. So, in the middle of that stimulus, stop yourself from reacting poorly and act in the way you want. Okay, so focus on what you want, a principle from The Secret, but use in a practical application. It's like, if you wake up, you feel lazy, you don't feel like recording a video for your YouTube channel. You know that you want that success. You know that you want popularity. You want to help other people and make an impact in the world. You're never going to be able to do that if you constantly give into your lazy feelings. So instead, you've got to consciously act in the opposite way. Act in the way that you want to act. Like, I want to reach out to people. I want to help people. I want to inspire people. I want to relieve their depression, relieve their anxiety, and help them with their health issues. So I'm going to record this video, whether I feel like it or not, and whatever happens, happens. The thing that's most important is that I'm acting more in alignment with what I want. Because you're not going to be perfect. It's not going to be just like, boom, snap my fingers, and now I'm creating what I want and acting in that way. You've got to slowly change that habit. At first, it'll feel rocky. It'll look rocky. You know, in the case of recording a video, the video might be kind of subpar. It might be, I don't know, like all over the place, might not make sense, might be low quality, but none of that matters because it's much better than just being lazy and giving into the laziness, right? But you got to consciously build momentum towards what you want over time. Better quality video, better quality content, you know, better editing over time, you know, and because that's how success works. Little increments and slowly over time. And sometimes it'll snowball and you'll get massive benefits right away. So, so focus on what you want. And, you know, this plugs into everything, you know, again, your relationships, like whether, like, no matter what you're thinking in the background of your relationship, at the end of the day, you're with that person, you're choosing to be with that person. And you really, there really is no reason to allow negative emotions inside of a relationship. You know, it's like you try to fix whatever problem there is, and if it cannot be fixed, you remove the relationship, you know, and get yourself something more in alignment with what you want, and that's all there is to it. Sometimes you can fix things, and sometimes you cannot. And so, focusing on what you want is how you get what you want in the relationship. The same thing goes for friendships and everything. The problem is most people don't believe they can change. Most people believe they don't deserve what they want, or they're not good enough to get what they want. And so they never try, you know, but the thing is, you're never going to feel like the type of person that gets what you want until you start to change your behavior. Because what's the difference between somebody who has a great relationship and someone who has a horrible relationship? Well, the person who has a horrible relationship probably is not focusing on what they want in a relationship and not dedicating themselves to obtaining that. Because if they did, they would get it, regardless of how fat and ugly and depressed of a person they normally are. Typically, if you're focused on what you want, the fatness will take care of itself. The ugliness will take care of itself. The depression will take care of itself, because all those things can be worked on. You know, ugliness usually is the product of just a lack of style, and typically, and it's in the eye of the beholder. It's a subjective thing. So you could dress better, you could start working out and exercising better. You can try to get the body you want and start to have a style that you like. And as long as you like it, that's what creates that beauty on the outside. Human beings have mirror neurons. Whatever I feel, you feel. So if I feel like I'm ugly, other people are going to get a similar vibe. Not the same, though. Anyway, it's all about habits. You know, autopilot behavior is horrible. So that's pretty much all I'm going to leave you all with. This was a live Q&A, but the first stream I had people, but my microphone wasn't working. So I'm going to see if this stream even worked. I don't even know if my microphone recorded all this. So leave your questions and comments down below, and hopefully more people will be here for the next stream. I'll talk to you on the next video. Peace.